The first is Jennifer Rose, if you want to wave so you can see who Jennifer is. Jennifer has been a 7th grade global studies teacher for 18 years. She teaches at Helen Keller Middle School in Easton, Connecticut. She is a Fund for Teachers Fellow and a National Geographic Certified Educator. She has a BA of Social Sciences in Secondary Education and an MS in Curriculum and Instruction, as well as Global Studies in Education. Jennifer has been an iEARN member since 2015 and currently serves as a Global Education Ambassador for iEARN USA.
And so for us, Earth Stewardship was part of the Bridge program. In the Bridge program, there's 5 different projects that students can participate in. And I had a couple students that were really interested in this. We do have a small school garden, and this was going to be a way for me, because I manage the garden club, to really get in those garden beds and do some soil sampling and figure out a way to remediate, but also teach the rest of the students about the importance of growing our own food in our community. We have a rural community, but we're just 1 hour outside of the city, so it's really easy to take that for granted. But again, with this program, the curriculum is clearly outlined with objectives and activities, and as a teacher, that is just so helpful. It's project-based. It worked on a lot of the development goals. The platform is very interactive, and that is always a huge plus. And again, it was really easy to implement into our curriculum. And the essential question that it answered for us in this case, in addition to the other one, but how does what we know about our interconnected world shape our beliefs and actions? And that's something that I've seen in the last couple of years at our school and around the state. Really that action piece, and that, gaining awareness, but not just having that awareness, but actually what does that awareness do to what we believe and how we act. And this was very, very hands-on, which was very exciting. And then also, Margaret, I don't want to underscore the importance of, in that classroom activity for Water is Life, also is that big piece of going into the workspace, into the collaborative workspace that iEARN sets up for all of the projects, where you're posting research, you're showing your pictures, you're asking questions, and students are weekly or bi-weekly, depending on the length of the project, really interacting with other students who are part of the project, and they'll be in the same country, or they'll be globally. So that's really very exciting. I don't want to underscore that, because that's the whole point of this. But so in Earth Stewardship, we had to go, and different schools did it in different ways, but we actually studied the soil in our garden beds. Other students studied soil around their community or around their school. But after we learned that our soil really in the garden beds was very, very sandy and very, very silty, then we took it on to start collecting food scraps in the cafeteria, and we composted it. And then in the spring, we had this compost, we remediated the soil, and we had some fresh soil for our spring garden. So that was really, really exciting. So in Earth Stewardship, we partnered with, this was the Middle East and Northern Africa, but there was also another school from the United States that we were able to have a virtual exchange with. And just one of the great things about this, it was eye-opening for my students. We had a virtual exchange with an inner city school, and how they treated the need for soil was just so differently, because they didn't have green grass and trees everywhere like we do. They have cement, and just were really hungry for spaces around their school community to build gardens. So again, it was just a very eye-opening experience. And they could see, you know, what other students were dealing with. And then even in sharing with the postings with the students from Africa and Egypt, just looking at those pictures and just seeing how they're very, very dry, and the opposite, and some of those conversations that they were having with their global peers was really fun for the students. And they did get that recognition that, you know, wow, we are all very similar, even though we face different challenges. So along with Earth Stewardship, last fall, so fall of 2017, all of my students participated in an iEARN project. So depending on the projects that they participated in, they became advocates for different activities that we put together for a Global Awareness Week. So some students, different groups of students were advocating for different things, but they rallied together to get the entire school to participate in a bunch of activities. And so part of Earth Stewardship, they were most heavily focused on reduce, reuse, recycle, because it's caring about the earth and climate change and sustainability. So that's just one piece of it, but all of the students picked up on different activities. But that was our culminating event, and we do that. This is our third year that we've done that. So it was really successful, and it's starting to turn into a real school-wide program, and we are slow but sure starting to see some changes in the way we attack things at our school. We really recognized some of the things that we could really do better. So this has been, for the most part, a positive experience.